The quickest way to speed someone up is to shift the energy in the room, and that starts with you. When you want him to pour that water faster, it's not about barking an order or sounding impatient. It's about creating a spark of fun that makes the moment feel like a game rather than a chore. Picture this instead of saying, "Can you hurry up?" You lean in with a little grin and say, "All right, let's see if you can beat the clock on this one." You've instantly turned an ordinary task into something playful. People naturally move faster when there's a hint of challenge and a wink of humor in the air. It's like giving him a tiny adrenaline rush without saying a word about it. Your tone matters here. Keep it light, teasing, as if you're letting him in on a secret mission. The excitement you add changes how he hears the request, because now he's not just pouring water, he's rising to a fun occasion. Think about how kids react when you turn cleanup into a race. Adults aren't that different, we just hide it better. That sense of urgency wrapped in playfulness makes him want to prove himself, to show you he can handle it. Instead of a dull, "Please pour the water," you're saying, "Let's see how quick you are." And it's amazing how quickly someone's pace picks up. And here's the subtle art you're not demanding. You're inviting. You're setting a stage where speed feels like a shared joke, not a stressful deadline. Even a simple, "I bet you can't get it filled before I finish setting these glasses," can light that spark. But remember, it's not just the words, it's the energy behind them. If you're tense, he feels pressure. If you're playful, he feels excitement. Your eyes, your smile, your body language all say, "This is fun." He'll match that. It's human nature to mirror the vibe we're given. When he senses you're enjoying the moment, he wants to jump in and keep the rhythm going. It becomes less about the water and more about the connection you're building right there in the kitchen or at the table. That little burst of fun creates momentum. And here's the best part: by making it a playful challenge, you're not only getting that water poured quickly, you're deepening the rapport between you. You're showing that even the smallest tasks can be a chance to share a laugh. That's powerful. People remember how you make them feel, even in tiny moments. If he feels like you two can turn something as simple as pouring water into a spark of excitement, he'll carry that energy into everything else. It's a quiet way of saying, "Life with me is fun." And that's irresistible. So the next time you need him to move a little faster, don't just ask, invite. Don't just say it, play it. Let your words be a friendly dare. Let your smile show that you're in on the game. You'll be amazed at how quickly he responds when the request feels like a shared adventure instead of a routine. That small shift transforms a basic moment into a spark of connection, and suddenly pouring water becomes the easiest thing in the world to do, and to do fast. Clarity has a magic all its own when you want someone to act quickly, and that's exactly why using clear, positive language matters so much. When you need him to pour that water fast, you don't start with a half-hearted, "Could you maybe?" because that kind of hesitant phrasing leaves room for delay. Instead, you go straight to the point with a confident but friendly request, something like, "Hey, can you pour that water quickly for us?" The words are simple, upbeat, and impossible to misunderstand. He knows exactly what you want, and he senses from your tone that you expect it to happen now, not later. That tiny shift from tentative to clear is what sets everything in motion. People respond to certainty. It gives them a direction and a timeline without you ever needing to sound bossy. Think about how many times mixed signals slow things down. When you hedge, you create a moment of hesitation. He wonders if you really mean it or if it can wait. But when your words are direct and positive, there's no fog. It's not a demand, it's an invitation delivered with confidence, and confidence is contagious. When you speak as if you expect quick action, you give him permission to step up without second guessing whether it's the right time. You're showing that you trust him to handle it, and that trust alone speeds everything along. Tone plays an equally important role. Clear words delivered with warmth land very differently than a rushed or harsh order. A light, upbeat voice says, "I believe you can do this, and we'll both feel good once it's done." It's the difference between being a drill sergeant and being a teammate. You don't have to raise your voice or add pressure. Your steady confidence is the pressure. And it works better than any demand because it feels like collaboration rather than command. There's also something powerful about choosing words that focus on what you want instead of what you don't. Instead of "don't take too long," you say, "let's get that water poured quickly so we can start." Positive framing keeps the mood easy and energizing. It paints a picture of what's about to happen so he can step right into that vision without confusion. The mind naturally moves toward positive action when it's invited instead of warned. Your body language can quietly reinforce every word. Standing with open posture, making light eye contact, maybe offering a small smile, these signals line up with your clear language. You're not just asking for fast movement, you're showing you believe it's going to happen. That consistency between words and presence makes it effortless for him to respond immediately. And here's the beauty of practicing this kind of clarity. It doesn't just get the water poured faster. It builds a pattern of communication that strengthens trust. Every time you're direct and positive, he learns that you mean what you say and you say what you mean. There's no guessing game, no hidden message. That reliability makes him more willing to jump into action the next time you need something, because he knows your words are simple, genuine, and respectful. So when the moment comes, skip the polite but vague hints. Offer a clear, confident request wrapped in positivity. Let your voice carry warmth and certainty. Let your eyes show you trust him, and you'll be amazed at how quickly he moves. The water gets poured fast, yes, but more importantly, you create a rhythm between you where action flows naturally because your words made it easy for him to know exactly what to do and to feel good doing it. Purpose is like fuel for action, and when you want him to pour that water quickly, giving the task a clear reason changes everything. People naturally move faster when they know why something matters. Instead of simply saying, "Can you pour the water?" you might add, "Let's get this ready before the toast starts," or "We need it filled before the food gets cold." That small addition flips a mental switch. It's no longer a random chore. It's part of a bigger moment you're both sharing. When there's a purpose attached, he isn't just pouring water, he's helping create an experience, and that makes him want to do it right away. Think about how different it feels when someone tells you to do something without context. It's easy to drift or delay because you don't see the urgency. But when the reason is clear, you can almost feel the clock ticking in a good way. Purpose gives even the simplest action a sense of importance. If you're preparing for guests, you might say, "They'll be here any second, and I'd love for the table to look perfect." And suddenly he's part of the welcoming team. You've made him a key player in making everyone feel comfortable, and that's motivating. The key is to keep the explanation light and positive. You're not piling on pressure or making it sound like a crisis. Instead, you're letting him see the bigger picture so he can step into it. A cheerful, "Let's have the drinks ready before the movie starts so we don't miss a scene," carries energy without stress. It paints a picture of the near future that he can help make happen, and that picture naturally speeds him up. This approach also taps into something deeper. People like to feel useful and appreciated. When you frame the task as part of a shared goal, you're telling him his contribution matters. That's powerful because it speaks to a basic human desire to be needed. You're saying, "You make this better," without needing those exact words. And when someone feels that they don't just comply, they lean in. They want to deliver, and they often do it faster than you expect. Your own energy reinforces the purpose you share. If you talk about the reason with a spark in your eyes, he senses the excitement. Maybe you're getting ready for a cozy dinner or a fun game night, and the water is just one piece of that larger scene. When you show that you're invested, he'll match that investment. He won't feel like he's completing a chore. He'll feel like he's helping create a moment with you. There's also a ripple effect. When you regularly give purpose to the small things, it builds a pattern of teamwork. He starts to anticipate the reason behind a request and steps in before you even explain. Over time, it becomes natural for him to act quickly because he knows these little tasks feed into something meaningful that you both enjoy. So when you need him to move fast, don't just ask for the action, share the why. Let him see the scene you're building, whether it's guests about to walk through the door or a meal you want to savor while it's hot. That sense of purpose transforms the simple act of pouring water into a shared mission. He feels important, you feel supported, and the job gets done in a fraction of the time because it suddenly matters to both of you. Energy is contagious, and the quickest way to see someone pick up the pace is to model the rhythm you want. If you move like you have all the time in the world while asking him to pour the water quickly, your words and your actions send two different signals. He'll pick up on the slower one every time, but when you show a calm excitement, light steps, a bright expression, a little bounce in your movement, he instinctively mirrors that tempo. People naturally sync to the energy around them. And when you set that pace with intention, you don't need to push or nag. He feels the speed you're creating and joins in almost without realizing it. Imagine walking into a room where someone is bustling with purpose, but smiling as they work. You can feel that momentum. You don't want to be the person slowing things down. You just slide right into their flow. That's the effect you can create. Maybe you're setting the table, moving with quick, sure motions while casually saying, "Could you pour the water for us?" Your body language says this is a lively moment, and he'll want to match it. You're not demanding, you're demonstrating. The pace you carry becomes the unspoken invitation for him to move just as quickly. Your voice matters too. A bright tone with a hint of anticipation communicates more than the words themselves. When you sound upbeat and ready, it signals that something enjoyable is coming and you're excited to get there. That subtle lift in your voice can do more to motivate speed than any urgent phrase. If you keep it warm and relaxed, he feels no pressure, just the natural pull to keep up with you. It's a dance, and you're leading without ever announcing it. Even small gestures reinforce the message. A quick glance toward the glasses as you reach for the napkins. A playful nod toward the pitcher while you move to the next step. These are cues he picks up on. They say, "We're moving, we're flowing, let's keep it going." When words and actions align, there's no room for confusion. He doesn't have to think. He just joins the rhythm you've already set. This mirroring effect goes deeper than we often realize. Humans are wired to attune to the people they're with. When you set a lively but pleasant pace, you invite connection as well as action. He's not just responding to a task, he's responding to you. The shared energy turns something as small as pouring water into a moment of togetherness. It's no longer about how fast he can move. It's about moving in harmony. The beauty of this approach is that it stays light. You're not issuing commands or creating stress. You're simply embodying the atmosphere you want. If you keep your movements natural and your smile easy, it feels like fun rather than urgency. He senses that you're enjoying yourself and wants to join in. And once he's in step with you, the job is done before either of you notices. Over time, this habit builds a quiet understanding between you. He learns that when you pick up the pace, it's a cue to join in, not a sign of pressure. You both move together more smoothly, whether you're preparing a meal, heading out the door, or just sharing a small task like this one. So instead of telling him to hurry, let your energy show the way. Move with the spark you want to see. Keep your tone light and inviting, and you'll watch him naturally match your rhythm until the water is poured and the moment flows just the way you imagined. Sometimes the fastest way to get someone moving is to let them know they're already appreciated before they've even started. When you thank him in advance or let him know you notice the little things he does well, you create a quiet motivation that words like "hurry up" could never match. Imagine saying with an easy smile, "You always make this look effortless," or "I love how quickly you handle this." Those few words tell him he's capable and valued, and people naturally live up to the picture you paint of them. Instead of feeling ordered around, he feels recognized, and that feeling makes him want to keep the momentum going. Appreciation works because it speaks to a basic human need. We all like to be seen. When you acknowledge his effort before it happens, you're saying, "I trust you." And trust is a powerful motivator. He doesn't have to guess whether you'll notice or care. He already knows you do. That certainty invites him to rise to the occasion without hesitation. It's almost like you've created a small reward in advance, and the brain responds by leaning toward action. This isn't about flattery or manipulation. It's about genuine recognition of what he contributes. You might recall the times he's stepped in to help, the moments when he's been quick to support you, and bring a touch of that memory into the moment. A simple, "You always jump in at just the right time," carries a lot of warmth. It shows that you've been paying attention and that you value those habits. That kind of acknowledgement strengthens your connection while also sparking faster action. Your tone is key. The words should feel natural and sincere, not like a script. A relaxed voice, a light laugh, maybe a playful glance toward the picture. These little signals say that you mean every word. When appreciation feels real, it lands deeper. He senses the authenticity, and that's what makes it powerful. Forced praise or the top compliments can feel like pressure, but a simple, heartfelt statement invites cooperation. Body language adds to the message. A quick nod of thanks before he even reaches for the jug, a warm smile as you hand him a glass. All these gestures say, "I'm grateful," without needing full sentences. They wrap your request in a layer of respect and make the task feel like something you're doing together, rather than something you're assigning. That shared feeling keeps everything light and keeps the pace brisk without a single sharp word. And there's a lasting effect to this habit. When you consistently show appreciation in advance, it builds an atmosphere where helping each other is natural. He learns that stepping in quickly is met with gratitude, not taken for granted. Over time, he starts moving faster not because you asked, but because he enjoys the positive exchange that follows. It becomes part of the rhythm between you, a mutual respect that makes even small tasks feel rewarding. So the next time you need that water poured quickly, remember that a simple "Thanks, you always nail this," said with a genuine smile, can do more than any urgent plea. You're giving him the gift of being seen and valued, and in return he'll give you his best effort without hesitation. The action happens faster, the mood stays warm, and the small moment turns into another brick in the foundation of mutual appreciation you're building together. Speed often comes down to preparation, and the more you remove little obstacles before the moment arrives, the faster everything flows. If you want him to pour that water without delay, set the stage so that action feels effortless. Picture the difference between a table cluttered with random items and one that's already cleared, with glasses neatly lined up and the bottle within easy reach. In the first scene, he has to pause, move things around, maybe even hunt for what he needs. In the second, there's nothing to think about. He can simply step in and start pouring. That kind of readiness silently signals urgency without you ever needing to say a word. Think of it as creating a path of least resistance. If the glasses are sparkling clean and placed right where his hand naturally goes, if the water is chilled and waiting, you've already shortened the distance between request and result. When you casually ask, "Could you pour for us?" it feels like the obvious next step rather than a task he has to plan. People respond to environments that guide them, and when everything is prepared quick action becomes almost automatic. Your own pace while you set things up also communicates a lot. Moving with quiet efficiency, clearing the space, maybe even uncapping the bottle, you're showing without words that this is the moment to move. He senses that energy and joins in because the environment and your actions have already started the process. There's no barrier left to slow him down. This kind of preparation also sends a subtle message of care and thoughtfulness. By taking a moment to make things ready, you're showing that you value the shared experience. It's not just about water, it's about creating a smooth, welcoming atmosphere. When he steps into a space where everything is ready, he feels included in something intentional, and that naturally makes him more eager to play his part quickly. He's not just completing a chore, he's helping bring a small, well-planned moment to life. Sometimes it's as simple as anticipating what could interrupt the flow and removing it beforehand. Maybe that means having a clean towel nearby in case of spills, or making sure there's enough room to set the pitcher down. Each small detail you handle in advance saves a few seconds, and those seconds add up. When there's nothing to fix or search for, he doesn't have to shift into problem-solving mode. He can stay in action mode from the start. There's also a psychological comfort in a ready environment. It tells him that you've thought ahead and that all he needs to do is join in. That confidence speeds people up because it eliminates hesitation. He doesn't wonder where the glasses are or whether the water is cold enough. He sees it all ready and feels invited to act right away. Over time, this habit of preparing the scene creates a shared standard between you. He begins to expect that when you're setting something in motion, you've already smoothed out the rough edges, and he matches that effort with quick response. It's a quiet partnership where both of you know that small acts of readiness make every interaction easier. So before you even ask, take a moment to clear the table, set the glasses, and position the water where it's easy to grab. That simple preparation turns a casual request into a seamless action. He doesn't have to think, he just moves, and the water is poured before the words have barely left your mouth. By reducing friction ahead of time, you create a natural rhythm where speed isn't forced, it's simply the easiest thing to do.